Hey guys, I wanted to show you a little bit of my style and see if any of this would appeal to you in doing some of our challenges upcoming in our Textile Collage Facebook page. What you're looking at here is a sampler of free motion stitching. I outlined a flower, and then there are various ways of free motion stitching for each of the petals. And that is done with variegated thread. The next one is an example of thread painting. This is a workshop that I do. This is a fussy cut butterfly, and then we thread painted. It has a little bit of acrylic paint on a background. That's the class sample. The next one is just a small art quilt with metallic thread, fireworks. This is another sampler on cotton fabric, just a very loose painted and quilted. You can see those stitches. This is a workshop I took with Susan Brubaker Knapp of a dragonfly. She has really, really awesome classes. If you ever get a chance, take one. This was a challenge I did in our local guild. It's just pieced fabrics together with buttons and an owl. Another challenge of free motion quilting. This is all hand painted or hand dyed fabrics. It was a monochromatic challenge where I could only use blue and blue-green. I do have beads. I don't hand sew, so these beads are glued on. It has some fabric beads dangling. That was a fun challenge. Where my passion is, whoops, dropped that. Where my passion is with thread painting. These trees are thread painted on water-soluble stabilizer and then sewn on. The back is hand painted. So the threes have a little bit of three-dimensional value. This is the same thing. This is a small hand-painted fabric with the trees. It's very heavily stitched. You can see that. And this was a thin cotton fabric, so I did use a bit of watered down Mod Podge to make it more of a canvas. So when I painted this, it will act just like a canvas. It is a little difficult to stitch through because it is so thick, but you can do it. Another example of just thin cotton, pre-quilted. I just did some free motion quilting and then painted. And this has very, very fine stippled with some pebbles. This is one of the workshops that I offer. It is a painted tree, and then we free motion the tree. This one has some beads. We do each season. So this is more of a winter. More free motion trees with a hand painted background. These trees are very heavily stitched. These are, it's hand painted. I painted one large piece of fabric with the brownish purple color, and then just cut out the shapes for the palm trees. I hand painted the background. This is done in Mickey Lawyer style. You can Google her. She does beautiful backgrounds. And then it's heavily thread painted. And then we get into what I'm really into now. And these are somewhat mixed media projects. So this is just plain fabric. I kind of draw an outline of what I want. I stitch it out and then I paint it. So she is completely stitched. She's painted with acrylics. She is painted with the Shiva paint sticks, which is an oil-based crayon. And she's not quite finished yet, but we need to add a little bit more to her. This one, actually these next two, are just cotton fabric. It's 2 layers. This one has felt between it. And it is free motion quilted. If you're not familiar with free motion quilting, that's when you lower your feed dogs on your machine and you move the fabric. The machine doesn't pull the fabric. It's just you control it. So your machine becomes your pencil and you become the movement. You move it under that. So this is quilted in a grid pattern. And then I drew on the face. I did draw her lips ahead of time just so I could not quilt over those. They are a little bit three-dimensional. I don't think you can see that. But she was a lot of fun. She has acrylic paints. She has the Derwent Inktense blocks, and she has some Shiva paint sticks. She has a little bit of shimmer. There's a lot of textile there actually came through. But this has a nice feel. It's soft, and it it still feels very textile-like. This next one, I did draw the feather, and that's the only thing that was drawn on the fabric. This was actually a pink fabric that I had a lot of, and then I quilted it in that same grid pattern, very tight. And then I took a roller, and this is house paint. This is latex house paint. It was left over from a room that I painted. You can hear it. It's very stiff. It's very canvas-like. And then I went in and painted the pears. This was a lot of fun. So it covered up there. You can see the pink, but it was just pink fabric. This one has a thin quilting batting in it, but it is basically gone. It is so thin. Love doing this. Lately I've been playing with different images. This little chicken is done on just white cotton fabric with felt under, and I will free motion the design and then just use either acrylic paints, watercolors, or the Neocolor 2s or the Derwent ink blocks, and just give them some color, and then you can sew those on. There's a flower that goes on here. So if you, I did 2 of these in my positivity flags. I'm not sure. I think Rosemary got one, and can't remember who got the other one. But these are a lot of fun. This is just an old pair of jeans, and I love to use found fabrics for those flags. So if you see a technique here that you are interested in doing as a challenge, I'd love to add that to our group, and we can take however long it needs to step into it. Over a 4-week period would be great to learn one of these techniques. Thank you.